Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, it was cold and rainy here. This is very uncommon. This is a high desert. It's usually hot by this time. I heard the cloud cover protected us from the eclipse. Okay, this video is poor preppers. Who are they? I think a lot of poor people, they say, okay, I'm kind of poor. What is the use? But we'll talk about this. So today I bought this great deal that wasn't a great deal. It was $2.12 off. It had 32 and I got home, it only had 17. But I thought, oh well, I think I will take them anyway. I could return them Walmart. So this is Mexican chocolate. So I like to drink chocolate milk sometimes. Sometimes I drink it, you know, a lot. This is the best way to make it. All right, and I have the milk I got for free at the food pantry. Okay. Poor preppers, who are they? American Red Cross recommends prepare now for poor people. Okay, so, okay, number one, older adult ladies like me, widows. So, some ladies are widows that weren't divorced. And some of us were divorced widows. Some women remarried, but I didn't. So you're an older adult lady and you're a widow, and so usually that means you're going to lose half of your income. So you're going to be living on significantly less money. Interesting, I think they're some of the best preppers. Older men. Okay, out here, the older men are just down and dirty. They live in their cars and they just hoard their money and they get by as best they can. A lot of them only have one income too. Number three, couples living in motorhomes. They used to be called snowbirds because during the cold weather they would come out here. They love Palm Springs in the summer. They love El Centro in the summer. But then they would go back home. But now they're just living year-round in their motorhomes, but you can still prepare. Okay, number four is the poor population. A lot of people are poor. They don't have as much money as some other people, and so it's hard to scrape up the money to stockpile. But if you just started following me, I'm glad you did, because what I did is I divorced my husband, and so then I endured years of hardship. Okay, Mormons and Adventists. Okay, the Mormons store food because it was just before the Civil War, just before Abraham Lincoln won the presidency, and the Mormons were literally driven out of Missouri. I think Joseph Smith maybe had some aspirations to become president. Also, their religion was disagreeable to the dominant, or the the majority of the population. Also, Adventists. Now, Adventists, they have a prophet. Mormons have Joseph Smith and Brigham Young, but they have Ellen G. White, and she has prophecy. And so everyone is told to buy a farm so you can grow food. And so I was going to the Adventist church and I thought, are you kidding me? A farm? Okay, a small farm is 10 acres. And in California, this was a few years ago that I was going. I thought, how am I supposed to get a farm? Well, you know, when there's a will, there's a way. And out in the back country, you can get some acreage. And so I went to work out there, and I said, you know, I want to buy 1 acre. And they said, well, no, you have to buy the whole parcel. And I told them, well, I'm just looking for 1 acre. And sometime later, they said, you still want the acre? And I told them I want sewage and I want the parcel on the street. And they said, we'll sell you 1 acre. And I said, why? You said you wouldn't sell 1 acre. And they said, well, we need the money. So, and the Mormons and the Adventists are kind of like preparing for the end. Okay, retired military. Okay, my ex-husband was in the military. And, you know, after he came back before I married him. But at that time, you know, a lot of the younger men that I was young too, maybe about between 20 and 30, we all had no trust for the government, and you know, we all were kind of prepared at all times. People trying to hang on to their houses or get one. So out here now, oh, this is turning out delicious. Right now in San Diego, I think you need about $850,000 to buy a decent house. So some people, it's like the farm. They're saying, I will find a house somehow. Maybe not a mansion, but I will find a house. And then the other ones are the people going, my gosh, you know, it's so expensive. I have to be prepared so I don't lose my house. Farmers and ranchers, okay? The farm, you know, there's a lot of farmers, you know, small farms. I mentioned to you that I want to start doing this again, that I wanted to grow plants. I can sell them right out here on the street, but I don't want to do that because I would be surrounded by these large, what are these things called? Plant places. So, you know, that's okay. And so also ranchers, you know, there's small ranchers. Okay, here is, I want to show you my ice cube hack. See my ice cube? Are some of you sick and tired of having to deal with ice like I was? So I just made a big one. And something occurred to me. This is my candied grapefruit and orange peels. These are going to taste really good in my iced tea. And then there's sugar in here too that I can use for something. And so from now on, make something out of your citrus peels. Ooh, this is so cold. Look at this. It is a beautiful tea too. When I get, I like to go to Jack in the Box for tea, and it's $3. So I said, can I get some extra ice? So they give me these little cups. And I'm hanging on to everything. So out here, if you're a farmer, you can sell your stuff at the farmer's market. And California wants to tax they want to know how many fruit trees, how many nut trees, and possibly tax you. So, or any plants, you should see how many plants I sprouted in the backyard. And here, I just saved the seeds out of my food. And these squash, I don't know what kind of squash these were. Some of these are peppers. They grew like crazy. So I have tons of plants. Okay, so small farms are like family farms. Okay, unstable, people with unstable jobs. So otherwise, you might be the most stable person in the whole wide world, but that doesn't mean your employer is. Or it might be that they have plans for your job, like a kiosk. That is so good. Okay. Or low hour jobs. So out here, people are having to use 2 and 3 jobs, and both the parents, and then it's still not enough to buy a decent house. So a lot of people are very pessimistic, but I don't remember, maybe 2008. My mother-in-law's house dropped from $850,000 to around $430,000. And it seems like there's a cycle and it's probably going to happen again. So just keep saving your money. So these are the people who are prepping. Prepping for what? It could be any one of those things. Okay, today I had, this was a weird thing I did. Last night I made tuna gravy on toast, and for some reason I just felt like eating it, and I got up very early in the morning, ate the rest of it, and went back to bed. Then I had my oatmeal for lunch. 1/4 cup oatmeal, 1/4 cup, 1/2 raisins, 1/2 nuts. I am going to buy a bunch of these. I have had this for a while, so instead of using my milk or my powdered milk, I put the coffee creamer in it. So on a cup of coffee, it would be, how much would it be? 1 teaspoon? But anyway, you could use less, but I wanted to see if I could get a really creamy oatmeal, and I did. If you want to make milk out of this, like if you want to make liquid coffee creamer, it's 1/3 cup of this to 1 cup water, and you heat it. Okay, 2 cups water and 2 tablespoons sugar. So that is what I had when I got home from the gym. And then I took this out because I stockpiled up a lot of these because these are cheaper than sandwiches out, and I find them to be pretty good. Okay, so now, so what does that mean, prepping when you're poor? Well, it probably doesn't mean going to Costco and buying, say, $2,400 worth of food, your year's supply, all at one time. But, oh, the Mexican chocolate is the best. And if I don't drink it all, I just keep it in the refrigerator. Okay, number 11, people who have been really poor and possibly hungry. When I was working in the salon, girls out here in the military were telling me that they lived in the South and they nearly starved to death. And so they joined the military, and you know, they were grateful to be in the military. So also, believe this or not, a lot of people who are in the military have suffered a lot of hardship, their families. I think in San Diego we have military housing. Okay, so now let's think about this. Food. Go to food bank or food pantry and eat whatever they give you. You can buy some food if they don't give you, you can go on EBT. If you're poor, like I can go easily qualify for EBT, but I thought as long as the food pantry is this good, I don't really need it, but I could get both. But that would be the first thing. You have a roof over your head, you have water, maybe some iced tea and some food, and you know, and then you don't have to really spend that much money. So it'd be food banks, eat what they give you, EBT, welfare. So one time after I was divorced, I forget what happened, but I actually went to the welfare department, and I was so humiliated. I started crying. I was a wreck. And the lady said, come here, and you know, they took the information, and she said, wait here, and she gave me $100, a check for $100. And I had been so poor for so long, that's your working poor. I went to the Food for Less in front of the welfare department, and my food budget was $25 a week, and that was the best off I had been in years. But if you're this way and you're working and you're just scraping by, go to the food bank or get EBT. And if you don't know how to do the paperwork, they'll help you. All right, now, only store when you buy the food storage. And also what I have been doing, like this is the milk from the I'm eating it this week. But when you store food, and that doesn't mean you don't need a pantry, because you could get some milk or some eggs or some cheese. But when you store food, store it in bulk. Rice, beans, potatoes, bread, so you need flour, sugar, yeast, salt, and shortening, milk, shortening, oatmeal, raisins, cheese, tuna. Last night, I had my tuna. I had a package of gravy, but I couldn't make gravy with this. Tuna soup with crackers. You want crackers because I have heard these tales of people not having any bread for their tuna or their lunch meat. And that's why I have given you guys the recipe for the fry bread. But the fry bread, you need oil. Now the place I went to Saturday, the last time they gave us oil, but I went later because the last time I went early and there was more of a crowd, and I thought we'll go late and see what they have left. Peanut butter, you can make your own. Coffee or tea. I had a neighbor, and he was in the military, and he had 5 kids, and he lined his entire house up, the kitchen, because I would walk by and I go, oh my God, with hamburger helpers. Well, it's better than starving. Your food is there. Nothing's going to happen to it. Spam and bologna. Top ramen, cornmeal in case you're eating beans and rice. Canned fruit and vegetables. Frozen food like the sandwiches. Last month I stocked up on I got a lot of frozen food free, but I also stocked up on that in pork and beans. And another thing, when finances permit, either save your canisters. I think I bought this for $1.25, and stock up on containers. Let me give you this list. What I try to do is this week I bought these. I think they were just about $14 because I eat oatmeal every morning now. And sometimes I think to myself, I don't want to eat oatmeal, and I tell myself, yes you do, you like it. But if you always have, so if you eat the oatmeal for breakfast and you stockpile 10 pounds of oatmeal, you always have breakfast. If you stockpile milk or you make yogurt, this morning I ate half of the yogurt. Where's that yogurt I made? This is easy to make. Here it is. Look, I ate half of it. I ate 2 cups of yogurt. When you make it yourself, you can eat as much as you want. Okay, now think about little old ladies. Any of the little old ladies you have ever known? Paper towels, napkins, and toilet paper, but now add wipes, because if the grid goes down or something and you don't have that much water, you need wipes. So after the pandemic, I started buying wipes, and now I need them. Okay, keep your utilities as low as you can. So that is, I've been trying to reduce my utilities ever since there was a $1,500 bill. So what I do is I live in one room all night, and that is the kitchen. So tonight I thought the birdies were too cold, so I heated the oven to 250 and opened the door of the oven because the heater is on now, but it's so expensive to heat the whole house. It's late now. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning, so I turn the heat on. But generally, I just live in the kitchen. This is such a small kitchen. Okay, you can turn your utilities off at the breaker switch, everything but the refrigerator, and then you can run an extension cord. My neighbor used to do that. His utilities were $8 a month. He worked all night and slept all day. When I lived in a bad neighborhood, they had no lights. They used Christmas lights at night, and I used to go, oh my gosh, but it's better than no lights. And then the other one that I have witnessed is go to bed when it's dark. And I used to joke when I was married to my ex-husband, I said, no wonder they have so many kids. Okay, but you will save money if you want to live that way. And then if you get up, if you're a senior, my customers would get up and walk 5 miles in the morning. Okay, now for car. What you can do when you're saving money is just make sure your car is always full of gas. That is very important. Or buy a bus pass that you can get on any day of the week and go anywhere. Okay, and then if you remember in Florida, the people had no way to get out of I think it was a hurricane with their pets, so they just stayed there. So you want to say, how could I get out of here without, a lot of seniors don't drive. Okay, now this is very important. Like when we had all the big fires, this is very scary to me because in Hawaii, people could have lived if they had a gas mask. But one of my customers got out, he goes, I just tore out of here the back way. So now I live very close to the back way, but that's a fire region, but still, there's lots of freeways. Okay, grow and preserve food. So here is my mint plant. These grow huge. This week my daughter-in-law had a big huge parsley plant, and something in the middle of the night ate all the leaves. So and what happened to me is last year my mint plant was full of bugs. So I'm watching this one. Okay, so you're growing and preserving food. So this week, I don't know when, maybe tomorrow, I have these big mountains and I'm getting dirt. What I do is I just put dirt. I have a kitchen trash can in my backyard, you know, the regular size trash can, and I just load 2 or 3 trash cans of dirt. It's very unpleasant. I'm not paying for dirt. So that needs to be done. So you can grow some food year round. If something happens and you have skills and you have saved your seeds, and so this year I'm going to be trying to grow food on my windowsill, my back balcony, and my backyard. Okay, so grow and preserve food. Okay, I showed you yesterday, you know, I made 6 cups of grapefruit juice out of 2 grapefruits. I made candied tangerines and grapefruit. That tastes good, but I have lemons, and from now on I'm going to dry my lemon peels. And then, you know, when I worked in the Mideastern shops, they would just dry the whole lemons and throw them in stuff. So you have always vitamin C. Refill water and have a way to boil water, but I can refill a gallon of water at Walmart, and it's so much easier. You just drag everything in the shopping cart and, you know, fill it up. Hoard cash. $20 a week is $1,000 a year, or $10 a week is $500 a year, or just save $1 a day. Don't buy anything new, buy secondhand. Okay, for coats, which can be, and jeans, for everything I possibly can, I buy it used. Not pots and pans this time, but I'm looking for old time pie pans and stuff like that. I used to cook and eat straight out of the pie pan. So now, okay, back to disasters. If somebody knocks on the door, don't answer the door. Even if they go, it's the police, don't answer the door. Chances are they're not really looking for you if you're some senior citizen. Don't go, hi, what do you want? Just don't. I have surveillance, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't open the door. Okay, think about getting one of these gas masks, radio, walkie-talkie, heater, camp store, and heavy-duty blankets, wool. So I used to be able, I bought the nicest sleeping bags and stuff. Most of them I gave away, but we should all have like at least 2 per person. Okay, now they're saying, okay, remember I told you the Red Cross said to prepare now? The best way to prepare, if you're poor or even if you're not poor, is little by little. Just like pick up some salt or some sugar, or go to Walmart and say, I will buy $10 worth of stuff, which is only 8 things now. Keep the laundry done. Okay, something happens and you don't have any clean clothes. I have made a habit of that. I don't have any laundry in the house. First of all, I hate it. It's nasty to me. But another thing is remove all the trash all the time, especially in an emergency. And another thing is, like, if you're in one of these places it's getting very unsanitary, like in the G country, you got to get out of there. You've got to get to the safest, furthest place you can from the contaminated sewage and such. Okay. Now, if they warn an attack is coming and you have gas in your car and you have money in your pocket, if you have money in your pocket, you can fly out. Leave before if there's any kind of indication, and you need good maps if you're going to drive. Stock up on over-the-counter drugs and medication. And then take as best care of your health now to be as hardy to withstand stress. Okay, I want to go to the gym because they say you lose muscle mass as you get older, but I'm also trying to work on my diet, mainly just trying not to overeat and stay off sugar. So one good thing is walking, like the seniors in the morning. Also get fit with Rick. Muscles, okay, to like keep my muscle. I have no muscles, but weight or resistance training, so like walking up hills, stuff like that. So another thing, if at all possible, I think it's best to shelter in place. Less bad stuff is going to happen if it's all at all possible. Like when we have these big fires out here, I had to go get one of my nieces who lived up here at the time. You can't withstand smoke. No. Think about, do I have the ability to withstand stress and pressure? Well, if you have shelter and you have food and you have water and you have gas and you have cash and you have a weapon, that is going to help. Okay. Now, how are you gonna, this stuff needs to be thought of now, not when the disaster hits. Keep it simple, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and one day at a time. That is the best way to live anyway. Like if I had to think about going to the gym every day for the rest of my life, I'm pretty sure I couldn't force myself to do it. Okay, now, stay to the good way. So if something happens, you're going to have a better chance to get out if you're not drunk, high, or too poor. How to avoid that is control every single penny. I'm trying to start a little resale business. This was my plan, and then the COVID came along. And so I sell like junk jewelry, any kind of junk that I have around the house. And what I really want to do is start like doing a farmer's market from the stuff I grow. You don't need that much. You need a couple of big cardboard boxes. That's all you need to participate. And I want to sell them at the swap meet. I sold like plants, that I grew. I grew them here. Okay, think about the Wild Wild West and the traveling salesmen. So they sold like snake oil, pots and pans, anything that, household goods. Okay, so, all right, now, all right. Now, you don't want to be looking this stuff up at the time of an emergency. So, prevention, the risk of the future. You want to think about prevention. like, I'll tell you one thing very important is if you manage to stay healthy during the COVID. Mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. So, okay, think about modification to the structure elements. This is the mitigation. So, modifications to the structure element of a building to reduce or eliminate structural damages if something happens. So like here is so much better because my house is so much, I lived in a house, then I had a rickety old apartment with a 410 air conditioner over my bed and a fault line, a big crack at the top of my stairs, and I used to pray to God I got out of there in one piece. Then the next place I moved was very close to the riots. They go, oh, that'll never happen again. I go, well, I don't know about that. So both of those places, in order to prevent, looting, burning, the whole town of La Mesa. Okay, so green infrastructure. Okay, that is like your storm drains. Is the place made to withstand like nature things? So the last time we had like a terrible storm. The day before, I had enough time I cleared all the storm drains for all the townhouses along here because I didn't want theirs getting backed up and flooding mine, and none of us flooded. Okay, and then another thing is we want to say to ourselves, if there's a fire, like a wildfire, you don't want to be keeping gasoline in the garage or something like that. Something could happen, Okay, okay, now evaluate everywhere you are. Okay, chances are if something happened, ooh, look at my hot chocolate. People could give you some bad advice, like if you leave, you're getting fired. There was a tornado, the people weren't allowed to leave, but some of them, they knew which direction the tornado was coming, so at least they ran to the far end. It was a big long building and they survived. I would say the thing to do is if you're in the pathway of something like that, you want to leave, and then you can discuss your job afterwards. Okay, another thing is the fires in Hawaii. The smoke inhalation was deadly. Our friends were trapped over there. They went to a nice vacation, but they were in the nicer area and they were told to relocate. So as soon as they could, they did. Now, if like large buildings, if there's a fire in any part of the building, same thing with smoke inhalation, you could exit the building in a couple minutes. Just exit. They go, stay at your desk. Oh, you stay at your desk. The place is on fire. Or if, like in Florida, the people heard the foundation cracking. Here with earthquakes, I want to get to the closest I can to the front door. Usually, unless it's one of those earthquakes, it's like kaboom, there's nothing you can do. There'll be some shaking. Run out as fast as you can in your pajamas, naked, whatever you have to do. Okay, and anytime you're in a building that's over 2 stories, even 2 stories, make sure you know exactly where the fire exits and all the exits are, not elevators, so that you can crawl, because if there's smoke, you're going to have to crawl and get out of there. You have to know where all the exits are. I was talking to the guy because I'm like this. First of all, I'm an EMT and a caution freak. But we were talking about how to get out of the gym. Like if somebody went postal, and there's actually, I think, you wouldn't want to run somewhere where you would be trapped, or from the direction the person's coming in, you'd want to go to the far exit if you could, or if you were able to circle and go behind, but not to get trapped. So that needs to be thought of before. These are all emergency situations we need to be thinking about. Okay, now this is one. Highly populated areas are so dangerous for attack. Like me, I live 30 miles inland, and I live in a pretty safe place now, but on the hill across the street, there's a lot of street people, so that's not so safe. I thought, well, this is good because there's no mass transit, but they just got out there and they're just camped out in the mountains. They did this outside of town for a while too. It won't last. So when the place is highly populated, it's hard to evacuate. So that's why you want to have cash money and ways to get out at the beginning. Okay, now another thing is products to stay clean. Also, bleach is very important. And also the 90% alcohol. And also to control the garbage. It's very, very important. In fact, I'm wondering how many people are just sick due to garbage. Poor preppers, who are they? Well, you're looking at one. Okay, you guys, God bless you all.